SNAPGAP allows you to accurately and easily adjust the valves in your 911. This animation explains how and why SNAPGAP works. The first step is to eliminate the OEM jam nut. Take it off. You won't need it anymore. Once the jam nut is off, using fingers only, tighten the adjustment screw until you cannot turn it any further. At this point, the adjustment screw is bearing against the top of the valve stem with a zero gap adjustment. Next, screw the small hex socket screw into the thin side of the SNAPGAP collar and finger tighten it. Next, using fingers only, screw the collar onto the adjustment screw until it rests against the top of the rocker arm, and then finger tighten it. Using the supplied T-handled 10 Nm torque wrench and the supplied 13 mm crow's foot, tighten the collar until the torque wrench gives. At this point, the adjustment screw is bearing against the top of the valve stem, and there is zero gap. Now you must attach the collar to the valve adjustment screw so that they become one unit. Just tighten the small hex screw past finger tight, 3/4 of a full turn only. Now that the valve adjustment screw and collar are one unit, use the T-handled wrench and 13 mm crow's foot to open a gap between the bottom of the collar and the top of the rocker arm. This operation will also open the gap between the valve adjustment screw and the valve stem. The size of the gap below the collar, no matter how large or small, will be exactly the size of the gap between the valve adjustment screw and the valve stem. This is the secret of SNAPGAP. Now to set the gap at 0.1 mm, insert the shim in the space between the collar and the rocker arm. Rotate the shim to any convenient position. Squeeze the shim between the collar and rocker arm by firmly finger tightening down the collar and adjustment screw assembly. Then use the torque wrench to tighten the assembly to 10 Nm. You now have properly and mechanically adjusted your valve to the thickness of the shim, or 0.1 mm. The final step is to break off the shim handle by flexing it back and forth. To watch a 3-minute video of a live installation or to order a SNAPGAP kit, visit snapgap.us.